What is going on, Fight Club? My name is TEHmazing, and today I'm bringing you a UU battle. So yeah, let's look at the teams. Okay, so there's my opponent's team, and there's my team. So the biggest threats I'm seeing from my opponent's side are going to be that Bronzong, Darmanitan, Machamp, and Suicune. Suicune, if it's a Crocoon, that thing could just, set up and sweep my entire team. So I'm probably gonna have to keep my Swampert, which can roar it out, or my my Roserade that can hit it with a Giga Drain. Machamp can be very problematic just because it does hit my team extremely hard. Even my Swampert and Hitmontop won't enjoy taking dynamic punches, and they really won't enjoy the confusion. Darmanitan, if he gets rid of my Swampert and my Hitmontop, he can pretty much just tear through the rest of my team with nothing but Flare Blitz. Bronzong is always a problem to this team, just because really the only thing I have to hit it is my Victini and my Hitmontop that can slightly hit it pretty hard with a close combat. But yeah, anyways, in terms of leads, I really don't know what he's going to lead with. He could lead with Darmanitan, Raikou, Bronzong, or the Zatoot, so I'm just going to lead with my Swampert to possibly get up my rocks. So yeah, anyways, let's just get to the battle. So I'm going to lead with my Swampert as my opponent leads with a Raikou. Now, I am kind of scared of the HP grass, so I'm going to switch out here in my Roserade to scout for it, but seeing as he switches out here, that definitely tells me that he's probably not packing the HP grass, and he's probably running like HP ice or something. So here I'm going to switch out into my Victini because I know that Zatoots tend to carry the Psyshock, and I'm pretty sure a Psyshock might take me out, so I decided to switch out. Now I am going to predict the switch and go for the U-turn here, as he is going to bring in the Suicune. So I'm going to get off a little bit of damage on this thing, and now I can bring in my Roserade that can pretty much threaten this thing out with a super effective Giga Drain. So I am going to predict the switch out into the Natoot here, and I am going to go for the Sludge Bomb, and he is going to switch out. So I go for a Sludge Bomb, and I hit this thing, somewhat hard, but I do get the poison, which was what I was really after, just because it might make this Zatoot a little bit more manageable if it has like Roost or anything. So I am going to switch out again, still fearing the Psyshock, because my Roserade will be very useful against that Suicune. So here he goes for a Wish, as I could just go for a sub here because I thought he might want to switch, and if I'm behind a sub, I can hit his team, relatively hard with a Shadow Ball. So he sets up a Reflect here, and I'm just going to go for a Nasty Plot because I know I need at least one Nasty Plot so I can hit his team somewhat hard with a Shadow Ball. So I set up my Nasty Plot here as he brings in the Bronzong, and pretty much I'm going to get up to +2, but seeing as how Bronzong is very specially defensive and the light screen is up, I know I need at least one more if I want to be able to hit this thing somewhat hard. So I go for a Nasty Plot here, and he goes for a Gyro Ball, easily breaks my sub, and I think I just go right for the Shadow Ball here, and this is +2 or +4 stab Shadow Ball, and it does like nothing to this thing. But luckily for me, I am going to be able to live this Gyro Ball, and on the same turn his light screen is going to wear off, which means that his Bronzong is going to die because he really can't send anything into a +4 Shadow Ball, so he just leaves it in the die. So pretty much that's one pretty big threat out of the way, and pretty much a early 5-6 lead for me. Well, not really too early, but still. Anyways, now I'm going to switch out here in my Swampert, just because, I can wall this thing, and I kind of thought my Mismagius might be a little bit useful later on, possibly as death fodder, or maybe to take out the Zatoot. So he goes for the HP Ice, and I take that extremely well, and now I am just going to predict the I'm going to predict the Zatoot to come in here, so I'm going to bring in my Weavile, as he is actually going to predict my Weavile to come in and bring in a Suicune. So that was a pretty good play on his part, because I got to switch out just because Weavile really can't do anything to Suicune if it's physically defensive, and chances are he is probably just running a Crocoon because Crocoon can be pretty deadly. So I bring in my Roserade here, as he is just going to go for the safe Scald. Luckily not burn me, but it really doesn't matter too much because I do have the Rest and the Natural here. So now he is going to switch out here, as I think just go for the safe Giga Drain, trying to take this thing out because this thing could be a pretty big problem. But he brings in the Zatoot, and surprisingly Giga Drain, does just about the same as Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb did a little bit more, but still. anyways, I'm still fearing that Psyshock, even though he hasn't gone for it, but I'm still fearing it. So I bring in my Mismagius again, kind of as death fodder, but he sets up a light screen, so I'm thinking he's probably just gonna maybe switch out into something else, not really sure what. So I go for a nasty plot bit. You know, maybe he predicts this, or maybe he just thought he could take one, I really don't know, but he goes for the U-turn here, and pretty much, you know, that is pretty bad because he is just going to bring in his Raikou, which pretty much does outspeed my Mismagius and can easily take it out from the range of HP that it's at. So probably just should have gone right for the Shadow Ball, but, you know, I don't know. I really don't know why I went for the nasty plot. Kind of a bad play on my part, but oh well. Anyways, now he goes for the extra sensory just to take out my Mismagius, and pretty much now that I know he's locked into the extra sensory, I can just bring in my Swampert because Swampert does wall this thing extremely well, like I said before. So I am just going to go, or no, I'm actually going to predict the Suicune to come in, I think, and switch out into my Roserade, if I am not mistaken. No, I actually bring in my Victini, I think maybe predicting something else to come in, I'm not really sure what, but I just go for the U-turn here, and I actually get a crit on the Suicune, so it's very unfortunate for him, but oh well, hacks is hacks. Anyways, now I bring in my Roserade, and again, very unfortunately for him, I am going to actually get a crit on my Giga Drain, which definitely mattered, because this thing probably would have lived, but then again, you know, like, an Ice Beam wouldn't have taken me out, and if he would have rested, I could have just kept spamming the Giga Drain, and maybe eventually I would have gotten a crit and just taken him out anyways. But whatever, you know. Anyways, now I brings in the Darmanitan, and I just bring in my Swampert because, again, I know I can easily wall this thing, as he just goes for the Flare Blitz. I'm guessing wanting to get rid of my my Roserade as quickly as possible, because it does look like it's causing problems for his team. So, now, I think I am just going to stay in here and go for the Scald, or do I switch out? Let's see. No, I go for the Scald here, just because, you know, I figure the Xatu doesn't have Roost, so I can pretty much just, with a combination of Poison and Scald, I can take it out. So, I'm just going to go for another Scald here, because I know nothing he does will save him. You know, if he wishes, you know, I can just, you know, the poison will take him out, and if he just attacks me, then really, it really won't matter at all. So he just lets his Xatu die, and, you know, just sets up a light screen, which pretty much means that this Machamp can come in, set up a substitute, and I just bring in my Roserade here kind of as death fodder, you know, just so I can take a Dynamic Punch and then maybe get off a Giga Drain, but he goes for the sub, which is very, very bad, and why is this very, very bad? Because this Machamp is pretty damn deadly, because he's behind a sub, he's got a light screen up, which means nothing I do will really break his substitute, and he can just start hitting my team with Dynamic Punches, Ice Punches, and Paybacks, so yeah. Now, I go for a Sludge Bomb here just to break the sub, as he is actually going to make a very good play and get up another substitute here. So, again, this Machamp is looking very, very threatening. So, I am just going to go for another Sludge Bomb or Giga Drain just to, you know, get some damage on this substitute, as he is just going to take me out with the, Ice Punch. So pretty much that is going to be the death of my Roserade, but now I can just bring in my Hitmontop, and I know I should be able to take at least one hit from this thing, you know, and get off a close combat to just break his sub. So I go for the close combat here, and I am going to be able to break his sub, but sadly I will get the -1, which means that this Dynamic Punch is going to do a lot more than it would have if I wouldn't have had it. So he goes for the Dynamic Punch, is going to do just a massive amount of damage to me, and now pretty much I gotta really hope that I don't get confused, because if I get confused, that could be really bad. So I luckily am not going to get confused, and I can just smack him in the face with the close combat, get off a pretty nice chunk of damage, and he's just going to take me out here with the Ice Punch, and after -2, that is definitely going to take me out. But this Machamp is very low on health, so I can bring in my Choice Banded Victini and just start wrecking his team with my Victini. So I'm going to go right for that V-Create, take out his Machamp, and pretty much I'm going to get the stat drops, as he is going to bring in his Hihidaruma Hihidaruma right about now. Or, I mean Darmanitan, wow, am I really saying the Japanese name? But whatever. So he goes for the Flare Blitz, really hoping he could take me out, but because Victini is naturally bulky, I am going to be able to live that and just smack him in the face with a V-Create and just just like break his smiling jaw and then kill him. So pretty much that is going to be the death of Darmanitan, as now he is going to bring in the Raikou and just lock himself into the Aura Sphere. But because Swampert walls Raikou very, very nicely, you know, and he doesn't have the HP Grass, you know, he really can't take out my Swampert. So that means that is going to be the game, because, you know, even if he gets a crit on the Aura Sphere, I really don't think it will take me out, and I will just be able to, you know, hit him with an Earthquake. So he goes for the Aura Spear, and, you know, actually looking at it, if he did get a crit, he might have won. But whatever. He goes for the Aura Spear. I do live it, you know, very easily. Go for the Earthquake. Surprisingly not kill him off, but it really doesn't matter because I can just take him out next turn with the Scald. And yeah, so he goes for another Aura Spear. Again, not going to be able to... Is that a train, really? But yeah, he goes for the Scald, and, sorry if you can hear, like, that train in the background. I'm, like, narrating this outside because some people are visiting and it's very annoying. So, yeah, like I was saying, I just take out his Raikou, and pretty much that is going to be the game. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to leave a like. If you want, you can go check out my channel. And, yeah, peace out. See you all later. And, yeah, bye-bye.